Hi everyone, my name is Vinny. I'm the CMO here at Nimaroh. Today we'll be going over strategies to better help you stand out in the job application process. We'll be breaking it down into 3 easy steps, and they'll all be from the perspective of the employer. So step 1 in the process is going to be simply to just try to find any job position that you want to work for or any company that you're interested in. And this can be done in a multitude of ways, right? So maybe you go on a website that aggregates jobs based on, keywords and stuff, or maybe even look at something like Craigslist for a job position, right? Wherever you can find a job position that you would be interested in or a company that you like, then go ahead and put it on a list, right? And so that list that you're trying to create is going to be about 25 to 30, right? And people will say different numbers, but for us, we just think it's a good number because what we're trying to do in this specific strategy is focus on quality instead of quantity. So step 2 to the strategy is going to be the importance of the resume. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people will think, okay, resume, it's time to apply for jobs. I'm going to bring it out of the drawer and I'm going to start sending it out to people, right? But people don't use drawers anymore, so it's probably saved somewhere on your computer. But really what it should be is a living, breathing document, not something that you just update, but something that you're able to tailor to all the job positions that you made a list of, right? So there's 25 to 30 job positions and companies that you're interested in. This resume should be tailored specifically to each single one, right? And so what do I mean by that? Let's say you are a college student and you're studying marketing, and all the positions that you're looking to apply for are within the marketing industry, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take everything that you've done in college and you're going to pick out and select which individual things are actually applicable to that position, right? So whether it's a course you took or whether it's something extracurricular that you've done, maybe even projects that you've done, that would be great. You're going to take those things and you're going to put them on your resume because of that job position. You're going to do that for all the companies on your list. Some are going to be similar, some are going to be pretty different. But the point here is not to lie on your resume, of course, but really just trying to tailor and make it to where it's actually important to whatever job position you're going after. So the third and final step of this strategy is going to be finding different ways to reach out to the employer that you just found on all these different job positions, right? And so the reason this is important and where I think a lot of insight will come into play is for me. I have gone through the process of hiring people and being in communication with different applicants that are trying to apply for my company. And I learned a lot of things, had a lot of aha moments, things I wish I would have known back in the day when I was applying for jobs. One of the things you want to do is when you apply on, let's say Indeed, right? You send off your resume, you're not just going to kick back and hang out, right? You're going to try to put in that little extra bit of effort, right? And this is extremely important, and I cannot stress this enough, because this is going to be the thing that separates you from all the competition. So for example, we have a business connection here in Nimaroh, and she was explaining to me the other day all of the difficulties and challenges she faces on the employer side every time she posts a new job listing, right? And so she said on a minimal 200 people apply every time that she posts something. I heard that and I was like, how do you even have the bandwidth to go through all those people? And then something really important came up. She said that she doesn't, obviously, right? Can't go through 200 different resumes and not, want to jump off a cliff. But what she did do is she was able to say, you know what, the people that took the extra effort to reach out to me and the people who found my email or found my LinkedIn, those are the people that I gave priority time to, right? So that's really important. So once you send out that resume, right, you're gonna wanna do what these other people did to get you in that smaller group that's actually gonna get focused on, right? So whether that's finding the email of the person who's hiring, whether that's finding the LinkedIn of the person who's hiring and just reaching out to them and saying, hey, here's my resume. I know you put up this job posting. I'm really interested. Maybe you give a quick fact about yourself that could, help the company. And then try to get in contact with that person. And then you might even take it a step further and maybe get creative because let's say you can't find the person's email or can't find their LinkedIn because you don't know who it is, right? Look at people at that company, right? Do your research. Go out and say, okay, if this job position is going to be in the marketing department, I need to find people in the marketing department that may know the person that put up the job listing, right? And you're going to try to get in contact with those people and then try to get your resume into the hands of the person who's ultimately going to make the final decision. Once you've put in these strategies of trying to get your resume into the hands of the person that's actually going to be making the decision, you want to keep pushing and you want to keep making an effort, right? That doesn't mean you send one email and you say, okay, I did an extra bit of effort, I'm good. No, you want to keep going, being persistent. I'll give you another example. When I was in college, I was a freshman, and I was really interested in trying to get an internship my summer after my freshman year going into my sophomore year, right? I was getting interested in business, and even though freshmen normally don't get internships, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to figure out something. So we had a guy come and speak at my university, and he was really inspiring, and I thought he was really interesting. So I went and I met him after the speech, and he gave me his email. And then after that, I decided, you know what, this might be the guy. This might be the guy that I reach out to try to get this internship. I don't really have a lot of experience, but what the heck, we'll see how it goes, right? So what I ended up doing is I sent him an email. Okay, waited a while, didn't hear anything back, right? Then I sent him another email, then another email. What did I say on those emails? Nothing much. I was just like, hey, I heard you speak at the university. I'm really interested in your company. I think I could be a good fit because of these reasons. And I continued to follow up, After the 5th email, sent him 5 emails, right? He finally gets back to me and he's like, hey, I've got all your emails, right? But right now is not the best time to bring someone on because we're going through a transitional phase in our company. But he decided to give me the job anyways because he said he wanted to reward my persistence, right? Now there's a difference between being persistent and then just being annoying, right? But if you're constantly trying to reach out, just trying to make sure that you're adding value through each email and saying, okay, this is what I can do, this is what I'm trying to do, you really take an interest in the company, you could get rewarded, right? And the worst you could possibly hear is just no, right? And the importance here is when you send out an email, right, don't expect just because they didn't reply that the answer is automatically no. Until you get an email back that literally says no, keep trying, right? But keep trying to add value, keep trying to be persistent in your pursuit of trying to get in contact with that person. So some final thoughts that you can keep in mind throughout this whole process are going to be 2 things. One is make sure you're adding value at every step of the way. So what I mean by this is when you're reaching out to someone or you're adding someone on LinkedIn or getting in contact with whatever person, right? You don't want to be thinking about yourself. You want to be thinking about the employer. So many times I get emails and I get people trying to ask for jobs or trying to do this, and they're saying in their emails, I want, I do this, I want, I, right? And it's so focused around them, right? You want to keep the employer and the company in mind and try to think, how can you add value? So for example, maybe you find a problem and maybe they're missing something or they're not utilizing something as much as you think they should. You identify that problem and propose a solution. It'd be a great way to add value. And the second thing that's going to be really important when it comes to your resume is try to remove all friction. Right? And what I mean by this is you're trying to make things as easy as possible. So many times I'll have graphic designers that will send me their website, and they're beautiful websites and they have all their work on there, but it makes it hard for me to find the work that's actually, directly relatable to the job position, right? And so what you want to do is just put your 2 favorite pieces of work in the email, and you want to say, these are my favorite pieces of work, this is why I think that they're good for the job, and then you can add the link. So that allows me as an employer to look at those things, and then if I want to dive deeper, I can by looking at your website. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and above all, I hope you learned something. If you want to keep up to date with everything that Nimaroh has going on, Instagram is the best way to follow us. And if you have any questions on anything that I may not have answered or something that you're just a little bit more curious about, go ahead and write a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer it. So until next time, see you later.